Hey there. Well, it's been a bloody long time now, and I'm kind of back, except we're doing something a bit more crazy. So the renovation of the Aston stopped in about, what was it, March 2021, and when I went back to work. I think I've said that, and not very much has happened since. That said, so I've charged the battery. The battery's ready to go back in the car, and it's ready to start. The reason it's ready to start is that I decided that keeping life simple and easygoing was not for me. So I've about to exchange on a huge manor house in the north of England. It's one of them classic kind of, sell a nice detached 5-bed in the south and buy a 15-bedroom mansion for a laugh. So that's what we're doing. So I'm packing up the car. I've got my mate Chris from Apocalypse Racing, who's got a great big rig, coming down to get the car next week, and I need to make sure that I can reverse it off the drive with no brakes, and up into the back of his rig that he's going to have to park out on the main road. So let's see if we can get the car started, and let's see how it goes. As you can see, the garage is in complete disarray with all the packing going on, but first things first is a drop of fuel, because the last time this thing ran was about well, I guess 2021, when we were moving it around the garage. The problem is running it over the years. It's drained a phenomenal amount of fuel for not really going anywhere. I understand these things do about 12 miles a gallon at best on a good day. I'm not putting much in at the minute because I'd rather keep it relatively empty for transportation. Right, so let's see how we go. I've got the battery over here, charged and ready to go. And what I'd like to hear is the dulcet tones of the fuel pump from the back when I put the ignition on. I think we're going to take a minute or two just to get the fuel through the system. And just give the oil a chance to get round before going too crazy. Obviously we've got the rat rod kind of version of the car at the minute. A bit dirty and messy. I would give it some choke, but I think I took it out. Great, so we're getting absolutely nothing from this. So next job is going to be check the fuel pump is working. I know I've got power on it, loads of it, but I don't want to kill the battery just wasting time, so we'll be back in a bit. So wonderfully typical, carrying on from the last one. There was no sound from the fuel pump. We didn't get any ignition, as you've seen. So I tried the best tip on the internet with the fuel pump of smacking it hard with a mallet. I wouldn't hit it with anything metal, just to shock it. That certainly didn't work. And the guys online suggested taking the thing apart and just having a look at the electrics in the top of the pump. So is just looking in there. If you can see here, there's one of the copper connections, and that connection is just right. It's like a hair's attachment. So what I'm going to do is get a bit of copper wire and solder a new connection on that, and hopefully. I don't know, but it might be an easy fix. Why it's broken down quite like that, though, is beyond me. It looks like mechanical damage, and there's just no way that's happened. When I've done that, we'll flip over, check the other side, and just maybe we'll have some action. We'll see, and it's going to save me a lot of time, money and effort if that's the case. So actually it looks like this, if you can almost see it, has had some kind of a repair at some point in the past. It's not particularly well made, so we're going to fix that up. It's a bit of loose wire soldered on. I guess if it worked, it worked, so we'll replace what's there and make the connection good. I've already prepared in there and tinned a piece of copper wire out of an old electric cable to suit. So here we go. It's going quite well. I've done one side now, and that's quite a tidy little repair actually. So we'll do the other side just for good, back in a couple and see how that goes. Then hopefully I haven't wasted the whole afternoon trying to fix something that's fucked anyway. We'll see. Just before we put that back together, I actually noticed that one of you mentioned these contacts in the top are a bit like points in an old distributor cap, and I can see what you mean. So what I've done is taken a little bit of, well, sandpaper. Emery would have probably been better, but I don't have any to hand. And I'll just show you what I do, because it used to work on my old Spitfire. If I ever got stuck on the roadside and had a problem with my points, I could just hold the damn things open. If I had a screwdriver, there we go. I could just hold them open and run the paper through it gently. So that's what I've done, and just clean them up. And then I've got a compressor here, so I've just blown all the crap and everything out of it, get it a real good clean off, and then tested the continuity across the points with a handy multimeter. So fingers crossed, I'm actually starting to feel quite positive. Okay, so cap off the other side as well, and I've just pulled it off by a few strands. It was more attached than the other side, but ultimately it's pretty buggered. So hopefully these capacitors and things are in good order, but I'm going to replace this piece of wire as well with new, and hopefully we'll just have much better continuity and it will do whatever it's supposed to do. This side seems a lot dirtier, but the points are not clean, not terrible. I'll give them a little tickle, tidy up as well, and then we should be good. They say these pumps are good for about 30 gallons an hour, which actually, if you look at the port sizes on the things, you can see it. So I guess if you run it on your bench, make sure it's empty, or you're going to shoot fuel vapor absolutely everywhere. Right, so we cleared it out, put it back together, all soldered, all the joints are good. What we're going to do is just test it, and I've got a longer cable because just makes life easier. Onto the earth side of the car, and then live side to the battery. And what I want, without setting myself on fire, is to piss fuel everywhere, or at least feel the pump moving. Well, that's disappointing. Shit. Something's not working. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Could it be that I'm a silly wanker and I've wired it in backwards? In which case that would be an absolute schoolboy error, because there are diodes in there. The only problem is there's also capacitors, so you'd know if a capacitor goes because they blow up. But we're certainly going to the earth side of the car, unless we've got an air fault, and it's all been a waste of time, of course. Try not to put my hands on the electric bits. Oh dear. Well, I vote for a failure. Or potential air fault. I was quite expecting that to work, to be honest. That's interesting. Yeah. Power flowing through it, but not through the motors. it's fucked.